Right. I'm sweating it, honestly. I'm absolutely bricking this, but whatever. First of all, we'd like to say thank you to David for the kind words and for getting the ball rolling with the speeches. I must say, everyone who knows me knows that I hate public speaking. So at this moment in time, in my head, I'm stood here in nothing but a pair of boxers on a chilly winter's day. So please just bear with me at this moment in time. That being said, I was probably actually more nervous asking David if I could actually marry Claire. In my head at that point in time, it was sort of like a David versus Goliath type of moment. Ironically, I was the David in that situation. But, you know, I got through that surprisingly well, so I'm hoping this will be the same. That being said, if my voice goes or if I start breaking down at any particular stage, I'm taking you all down with me, so you need to have a sip of your drink, okay? So you're going to be absolutely smashed in about 10 minutes' time. Okay. So anyway, I didn't really know what a wedding speech was all about until maybe a couple of weeks ago, doing a thorough literature review on Google on to-dos and not to-dos, which, of course, I ran by the master, Claire, in this situation. But to summarise, it's basically just a bunch of thank yous, a few toasts, a few corny jokes, and talking about the bride. So, just like the lovely bride, I'll try to keep this short and sweet. Because everybody's thinking about food, really. Let's be honest, come on. Well, no, I am anyway. But first of all, so I don't miss anyone specifically out, and so I don't get daggers from all sides of the rooms, I'd like to say thank you to you all. If you are here today, you've been through a thorough selection process and have been drafted into the 2018 Yong-Ching wedding. The final picks were based on people we love, close family and friends, but with all jokes aside, we are both completely grateful that you could make it here today on our special day, or as Claire likes to call it, Claire's Day. So at this particular point, I'd like to say thank you to you. And I've just dropped my speech on the floor, so just bear with me 2 seconds. Cheers, pal. Come on. Thanks. Now the specific thank yous, anyway. So I'll do this so I save the best until last. So we'll talk about you, Claire, first, shall we? I'm only joking. No, in no particular order, I'd like to say thank you to the lads. To my groomsmen and best men, who I'll actually introduce. Okay. So this particular guy I've known since I was 2 years old. He actually needed a lot of reassurance about being my best man. He was like, "What? Choosing me? Why me? You sure you want to do that?" It was pretty good, wasn't it? Speaks at that tone as well. But anyway, he's basically a Yong-Ching brother, and you don't need any reassurance. It's just, yeah, whatever. You're a brother to me, and you deserve to be best man, and I wouldn't have picked anybody else. To quicken this up, I actually have another best man. I forgot about him. Liam, my extraterrestrial partner in crime for many, many years. Johnny, my French brother. Chris, my mirror personality, and Adam. Moving on. I'm joking, but sorry. As few of you may know, I actually went through a very difficult period in my life many, many years ago where I sort of separated from these guys and just from the world in general. But without making this sound like an X Factor sob story, these guys helped me get through that particular period in my life. I'd particularly like to thank Johnny for reaching out to me, being the first one at the time, and bringing me back around, and honestly, thank you very much, mate. Specifically for being terribly poor at FIFA and bringing those little bottles of Southern Comfort over. But no, something as small as that I'll never forget. But all of you, you've had some significant importance in my life, therefore you will always be a significant importance in my life. So thanks for being you, thanks for keeping this stag low-key, and thanks for helping out on the big day. So at this point, I'd like to say cheers to the groomsmen and best men. Just an excuse for a drink, really. No. Now I've got the toast out of the way, actually, and for your information, guys, sat around the table, you've not completely got away with it. So should we name a couple of events from the stag do, shall we? Because I know I'm expecting your speech. So one of these guys openly soiled themselves, and another drunkenly decided to cook completely naked, getting oil splatter all over his private parts. Now, have your guesses on who's who, but hint number one, let's just say the food was a vegetarian option. But on a lighter note, we'd also like to thank the bridesmaids who are looking absolutely beautiful, if I say so myself. I'll be very honest here, I'm glad to see that it's the three of you guys that are sat there today with all the dramas that have been going on and things. Yeah, give a bit of a round of applause. Come on. Get it going. Obviously, thank you very much for being there for Claire as a loving big sister and welcoming me as your brother-in-law, and also for being true friends to her. It's absolutely brilliant that you're here today. And we can't forget, where is she, the little girl? Oh, well, we can't forget the flower girl. She's absolutely beautiful. Andrew and Catherine, you are so lucky to have her as your daughter. She's absolutely gorgeous, and thank you very much for letting her be our flower girl. Now on to families. So let's start with Claire's family. Andrew and David, thank you very much for basically making all this happen. And most importantly, making me feel welcome into the family. You've raised such an amazing daughter who, for your information, I'm completely in love with, and the foundations of who she is. And those foundations are a reflection on how good parents you've been to her. So thank you very much. Cheers. I'd like to have a little bit of a round of applause for that. Claire, at this point, do you want to give the gifts to your mum and dad? Are these them that are behind?
Yeah.
So at this point, I'd like to thank you to all Claire's grandparents, aunties, uncles, and cousins for also making me feel welcome into the. I'm trying to dot it around. Yeah, all you guys for making me feel welcome into the family. I think something I've realised is you all set an example on how a family should actually be, like how close you are, and all the little family parties that you have, and all those sort of things. At which point, I should say, you also set an example about how you hold your booze as well. At which point I feel like I should reference the Oldham gang. Absolutely. And I'd also like to give a little shout out to specifics to Dave and Kath Causey. One, for giving us a home, really, and just taking care of us when we need it. And we really appreciate it, and we really appreciate you. Thank you very much. Now then, on to my lovely yet dysfunctional family. Sorry, I'm part of that, so it's all good. Now, we don't ever really get the opportunity to open up to each other, so I'm going to take that opportunity today. Don't worry, it's not bad. But no, first, on real talk, to my brothers, we're all meant to follow a path in life to lead us to where we are meant to be. The path may not be straightforward. We may not get there tomorrow, next year, or the year after. But that path will always be a much smoother journey if we continue to support each other along the way, regardless of the path that is being followed. I will indefinitely support you all. I love you all. And most importantly, I'll always have fond memories of Nigel being the true big brother to us three, whilst in all honesty, we were most likely hitting each other over the head with a toy WrestleMania 1992 ring. Neil Butcher at that point was probably in the background, dressed up as Shawn Michaels or Bret Hart. No, honestly, thank you for being the brothers that you are, and I would never, ever, ever change you for the world. And most importantly, thank you for taking Claire on as your big sister. She absolutely adores you all, every single one of you. Parents? Gonna stitch them up here, proper bad. No. To my mum and dad, first of all, thank you for surviving. Well, me and my brothers, and Claire, you know, she's been a bit of a nightmare as well. Yeah. No, you've had to put up with some stuff over the years, absolutely, and I think we all know that. But as always, you always take it in your stride and manage to make each and every one of us feel better. You're like genuine magicians, honestly. It's insane. If there is anyone I aspire to be in my future, I don't think there's any celebrity, rich person or sports folk that could actually ever compare to Gene and Tony Yong-Ching. I love you both so much, and I know on behalf of Claire, she loves you and thanks you for welcoming her into the family, but especially for your cooking. At which point, can we give her the gifts out? Do you want me to do that? All right. She's already ordered me that. There's no handle for this one. Thank you. Love you both. Almost done, I promise. I'd also like to say thank you to my cousins, auntie and uncles for coming today. And can I say, like, this is like coming from the heart, I'm extremely happy that we've all managed to see each other a lot more over the past couple of years. Probably seen you more than I have in the past 10, 15 years. And it's been absolutely brilliant seeing you all, and I love you all, and I think you're all outstanding, and I think for the near future, we should bump that up even more and spend a lot more time together, because I love you all. I think you're all great. And I'd like to say this directly to the videographers, as there's a camera dotted about. Hello. This is to my Australian Mauritian family directly. I wish you could be here today, although we don't have the opportunity to see each other regularly. Me and Claire are making a conscious effort to come over to you within the coming years. You are very important to us, and we would love to reunite and in many circumstances meet each other for the first time. I would particularly like to send my love to my grandma, and I'll say this to the camera and to her directly. I'm going to have to read this one. Bonjour grand-mère, c'est ton petit-fils. Je t'aime beaucoup et j'espère te voir bientôt. Love you. And as David touched on, I'd also like to send special thank yous to those family members who unfortunately can't be with us today. Grandparents, close family members, and our beloved pets, Shadow and Ruby. We know you are here in spirit, and we love you all, and we think about you all the time. And at this particular point, I'd like to have a toast to family. To family. To family.